I am rockin' with B-Rock.
I'm rocking with B-Rock.
I'm rocking with B-Rock.
Tessie and I are rocking with B-Rock.
We're rocking with B-Rock!
We
are Shotgun Superstars, rocking with B-Rock.
I'm Chrissy.
And I'm Jim. And we're rocking with B-Rock.
Rocking with B-Rock!
We are Asphalt Valentine, and you are rocking with B-Rock.
Rocking with B-Rock! Ready to rock with B-Rock!
Hey, this is Paul Lydell from Dangerous Toys and Dirty Looks, and I'm rocking with B-Rock.
With B-Rock!
I'm rocking with B-Rock.
With B-Rock, and I'm looking forward to fighting.
Hey, it's Jeff from American Jet Set, and you're rocking with B-Rock. Because you're smart. You got good taste.
Yo! What's happening? Today was a great day, I guess, for the ladies. I mean, I almost don't want to come on here because, all us men ain't shit again because old T. Lee had to go and ruin it for the whole bunch of us. Everybody saw it, whatever. My favorite thing was, my wife had to put on her reading glasses. No, she didn't. Whatever. Welcome to Thursday. Got a special show for you. I love doing these ones where, like, I had a photographers roundtable and, just a bunch of them. And I had Dave Stabley and a couple other guys that do graphic design and this and that. I love these ones. This week I have DJs from stations. We don't need Sirius XM. We don't need to pay for radio. We never had to do that in the past. We had terrestrial radio. We didn't call it that back in the day, but we had terrestrial radio where you didn't have to pay. Advertisers paid. Now we have guys like me and the people that are going to be on that do perfectly great radio with all your favorites, new tracks, old, mix it up, and it's free. They do it for fun. I do it for fun. We all do it for fun. It's just, they're out there. I know it's hard to find and you miss people and this and that. So I'm going to bring 4 on today so that you can find them easy. And they're going to talk about, how they got started, why they do it, just different things. We're just going to have a chat. So let's see who we have right now. I know we have Rich Dillon. We have, there he is, the crazy bastard from the north. Hello?
Hello? I didn't know if I was supposed to talk yet, man.
Yeah, you can
I thought you
talk.
were doing a big introduction with everybody. I didn't
Then
know.
we have Jim Hamby. Oh, Rich Dillon is the Meister Music Show on CGCM radio. Then we have Jim Hamby, who created Jam Session Radio. Now, let's see who this is. I can't tell who this is right now. This is the General. Who's the General? I can't see. I gotta.
The General is the mistress's helper.
Oh! Okay. So we got the General helping the Metal Mistress, who's on Cranium Radio. And then we will be joined by Angelina Green from Rock Rage Radio, who does the Bad Girl Rock Show. She's probably just a little late, so she'll be checking in. But welcome, everybody. How's everybody tonight? Everybody survived Tommy Lee today?
Doing all.
Looked like a day at the zoo.
I heard you say your wife needed her reading glasses to see yours.
No, that's not what I said. I
know that's what I heard.
She went to check out the picture and she had to put her reading glasses on. Not mine.
I thought it was for you.
No, usually she just pulls me closer. Oh, there it is. Whatever. I mean, Tommy Lee's always got rooted for us. But anyway, enough about Tommy Lee. All I heard Tommy Lee all day long. It's like, shut the fuck up anyway. Jesus. I mean, this is nothing new. The dude can't keep his pants on. I mean, ever. So, whatever. But, so I want you guys to introduce yourselves. I want just tell us a little bit about you, your radio station, your shows, and just give us a little bit about you. Rich, first, go.
Hey, I'm Rich the Meister Dillon. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I have a show on my own radio station. Well, me and a whole team of people run CGCM Rock Radio, and I have a show on there called Meister Music because my nickname's the Meister, so Meister Music. I play what I want to play, which is cool.
That's the way
What else do you want to know? That good?
That's the way it is. We play what we want to play, and if people dig it, then they tune into us. If they don't, they go to somebody else. And that's the way it should be.
That's why I started a radio station in the first place. Me and my cohort, my partner in the whole thing, Wally Norton, we started as a podcast, and we really loved podcasting because we got to play music that we would not hear on the radio. Right. That's what we like doing. And then we found out it was possible for us to start our own internet radio station, and we said we're going to play stuff that we don't hear on regular radio because that's what we want to hear. So we created the radio station that we want to listen to.
Right.
Hopefully everybody else does too.
Right. Jim.
Yeah,
you're next.
I'm Jim Hamby. I started Jam Session Radio, and just about, 12 weeks or so ago, started actually doing a live show on there. So I've got a bunch of music playing, like Rich said, right? It basically, you get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. You get tired of fighting every year with somebody in some other country that I only want to pay $5 for Sirius. I don't want to pay $12. I don't want to pay $15. They're always, bending you over the barrel and trying to get you. And then it's the same songs, right, on most things. Just a little bit of new stuff. And a couple of years ago, we ran into one of the DJs, won't mention his name, one of the DJs from Hair Nation, and we were like, dude, what's the deal, right? You play some great music, but there are bands you play that have put out 10 albums since the shit you play. And he's like, we play this year to this year, and that's it. And I'm like, what kind of bullshit is that? So
that's it.
It's pretty closed-minded, if you ask me.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly. And my thing I got to thinking during COVID is like, well, hell, instead of complaining about it, why don't I start a radio station?
Right.
So one thing led to another, and here we are.
Right. That's funny. We started ours during COVID as well. Same thing. We were all looking for stuff to do, right?
Right. Yeah, you're bored. You're like, I got some music that I don't hear, and I want to find some new music, and I want to find some new folks. And
right. Yeah. That's how, during COVID is when I started being, Will Mass started rock metal radio. And that was the first time I did anything, interviewing or anything like that. It was like, okay, cool. Then I branched out on my own because we were a total talk, a couple new tunes, but total talk. I wanted to do music, get music out to people. And believe me, it took forever. I was on Facebook trying to stream and then getting blocked and this and that. But it was like I wanted to play songs for people that they may not have heard. And,
right.
Getting that feedback from people that say, I haven't heard that in so long. Thanks for playing it. Or I have never heard of these guys. I'm going to check them out. That is, I don't know. It's probably the same for you both. That is the best feeling in the world.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. We actually had, when we first launched, within the first 2 weeks that we launched CGCM Rock Radio, we had a listener write in a comment and said they're canceling their Sirius satellite radio subscription. They want to pay us.
Bang.
We never saw the money, but okay, whatever. It was a good compliment.
Buy a shirt, right?
The gist got through, yeah. Probably they bought a shirt, yeah. Hopefully.
Okay. We have the Metal Mistress now. So, okay. We'll go to General Gone and the Metal Mistress. Hey, there's Wendy.
Guys, how are you? Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties.
Right. We had the guy on and always waiting for you, and then bam, 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 and there, now you are. Sweet. All right,
you know what? Hang on, guys. I'm not hearing you guys, so I got to work with my mic here.
Okay, cool. Whenever you come back. You're not okay. So when you hear us, just jump in. Yes, Wendy Chandler. She is the metal mistress. She's on Cranium Radio. She's actually on terrestrial radio and internet radio. So we'll talk to her when she can hear us. It's technical, internet. Internet's terrible. But
I know I've had. I started doing a live show now as well. Actually, I used to do 2 a week, but it was too taxing in the summer. I had too much going on. But I streamed to another platform called Mixcloud, and the technical problems I've had with my stream dropping and stuff like that. Some weeks it goes great, and I'll be on maybe 6 hours all broadcast, and it's great. And the next week, every 15 minutes, all the users are getting kicked out. And so I don't know what that is, but sure, there's a lot of technical stuff that we all had to learn for doing this kind of stuff. For me, it was a lot of reading articles on the website, a lot of YouTube search, and a lot of asking people for advice.
Right. Okay, so you can hear me. Okay, cool. You can hear us now?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Right. Yes, we can. Cool. All right.
The technically challenged one is here.
Dude, we're all technically challenged. We got, Rich was just saying it. This has been a learning curve, frustrations, and this and that. And I'm sure everybody feels the same way. It's like you start to do something and you go, oh my God, this guy can do all this. And I can't even figure out how to log the fuck in. You know?
I think that, my talents definitely don't lean toward the technological side of it. Gosh, I got the gift of gab.
Right. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself and your stations. I know you have two. I mentioned you have terrestrial.
I do.
And internet.
So
go ahead.
So I am the Metal Mistress, and I host the show, The Metal Meltdown, which is heard on 2 different stations. It's heard on craniumradio.com and a terrestrial station here in New Jersey at WSRX-FM 107.9. So it is... I've been doing it for about 5 years, and it is the best thing that I've ever done.
Right. It really is, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
I said it really is, isn't it?
I think I think I lost you guys. You guys all locked up on me.
Uh-oh.
We're hearing you fine, though.
Oh, we're hearing you fine. You look great. We can hear you fine.
I can see you guys, but it looks like everybody's frozen from my side.
Crap. All right, let me know. Give me a thumbs up when it unlocks. But tell us a little bit about your programming, Rich. What scope is it? Okay, so people are looking for that one person that they can identify with, because people that listen to you identify with your taste. They say, okay, he's got the same taste as me, man. Boom. So what is your scope?
Well, when we started, like I said, we started out as a podcast, and then we started a website doing album reviews and stuff like that. And we amassed a team of people that helped us do album reviews and concert reviews and that kind of stuff. So when we found out that it was possible for us to start internet radio, and we did a lot of research and stuff like that and got it up and running, we said to our team, anybody want to be a radio DJ? So not one of us have any experience whatsoever, but we're having fun, and everyone's show is a little bit different.
Right.
So you really just kind of have to tune in to get a feel for that person and what they like, because everyone's show is a little bit different. They do have a little bit different tastes. It's all in the hard rock and metal scope for the most part. One guy did an 80s pop show a while ago, but whatever. We're having fun, and it's still good tunes. So if you go on our website, there's pages there for each DJ. So a little write up on them, what kind of stuff they like, so you can kind of get a feeling for what music you might hear in your show, my show, Dave's Hard Rock Radio, Wally Gator's show, whatever. And then our auto DJ pulls from like 8,000 tracks or something that are just a mix of all genres: hard rock, glam, sleaze. There's some thrash tunes in there, some symphonic metal, because everybody at the station, somebody likes this. So our rule is, if somebody likes it, it goes in our catalog.
Right.
So it might be a bit over the map, but
right. Are you good now?
I hope so.
All right, tell us a little bit more about your scope. What do you play? I know, but let us know.
So my show is basically hard rock, heavy metal, and hair bands, and that seems to be a very broad, really, really broad genre for me, because I will go everywhere, all over the place, from like Led Zeppelin, old school hard rock, to, you know, some of the newer stuff that's out there, Avenged Sevenfold, maybe some, definitely I'm a huge Ministry fan. So, you know, I've got industrial rock, I've got some thrash. And I like to focus on my local people. When I can get out to a show and see some local bands playing, and especially the younger kids, I love bringing them in the studio and getting them some exposure, because that is such an important thing for these guys and gals out there.
Right.
So
that's absolutely the truth. You got to keep the younger folk. I've noticed you get out the shows, you're like, hey, this is, you know, and you're doing your thing and going live for a little bit, and just, you know, that's the way to do it, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, we are very lucky. I mean, I'm in New Jersey, so I'm right in the heart of, you know, New York City, and some really great small intimate venues around here that bring in some pretty good names. And, you know, it's just such a treat when, you know, I guess I would have to say I learned the hard way years ago, and I was not in radio, but I remember going to Rush. I saw Rush, and I was out in the parking lot, probably just listening to music. And, you know, I remember saying, oh, I don't want to go in now. Who's this band? Who's ever heard of this Queensryche anyway?
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
That was a lesson hard learned, that, you know, you never diss the opener, because you never know down the line where that opener is going to land at some point. And, you know, and like I said, I especially love to see the younger kids coming up through the ranks and the support that they get from some of the seasoned pros. So that's kind of the basis of my show. I love having people live in my studio. If I can get them in here, I you know, grab them and, you know, get them right here. If I can't get them in, I'll do some phone interviews, but I actually just love getting a hold of people. And if I can't do it in my studio, I'll try to go to the shows and do the interviews there.
Right.
So.
True.
So thanks, guys, for your patience. I just wanted to say thank you. Sorry.
Fine. Jim.
Hey,
your scope. I was listening to you the other day. You know, I tune in from time to time, you know, whenever I can. And dude, you were like all over the place. You're like Beastie Boys, and I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I have Beastie Boys. I have Leon Russell. So yeah, like I was saying, if it's good music, you know, I'm in my mid 50s, right? So I was at that golden era of hair metal and you know, metal. You know, I got to see like people open for Pantera, you know, shit like that. And it's like, you know, yeah, I got to see Pantera, but I got to see Pantera open for so-and-so, and I got to see so-and-so open for Pantera. And just this past week, right, I saw the band Silver Tongue for the first time in like 19 years. I got talking to the singer, and he's like, I asked him how long you been a band? He's like, oh, since like 2012. Or I'm like, I think I saw you guys earlier at such and such a club. He's like, holy shit, you saw us when we were a cover band. It's like, yeah. He's like, I was 16 and now I'm 35. So basically my thing is I love rock, I love metal, I love blues. So, you know, my thing with the station is I play the best of rock, metal, blues, and more. And most of the time it's on auto DJ, and I build clock wheels out and categorize things and try and make sure the categories flow a little bit. Right. But then there's those times where we hit our required commercial break, right? Because I don't want to spend the extra couple bucks for the no commercial, right? It's all, we're all doing this because we love it, right? So, you know, but ultimately, you know, we got to pay somebody for it. So in a commercial break, I might switch from, you know, from Metallica, and it might come back and it's all of a sudden, whoa, it's the Beastie Boys. What the hell?
Right.
But, you know, it's, to me, I'm like Rich said, if it's good, it's in there, right? And there's certain bands that I kind of shy away from just because they're so played out, not because they're not good, but there are certain bands that I don't even have on the station. Some of them are bands that I absolutely love, but they're played out, and I know a whole lot of people aren't going to listen to it. But then I'll have like the obscure stuff, or you know, the local stuff. One of the things I like to do is get the indie guys, right? So I categorize a bunch of indie music, and then I have an hour on Monday, right, that just indie stuff. So anything that's in the indie category that's new, boom, we're going to hear that. Anything from noon to 1, right? That's all hair metal. That's all, you know, you get a hairball with your lunch, right? And boom. And then on the weekend, right, it's break out the Aquanet because it's XL. You're getting 2 hours of it. You know, a 2 hour block of hair metal. So,
Awesome.
but if it's good, if I like it, if I think other folks like it, it's in there.
Right. And I agree with your premise about played out. I mean, that is what steers me. You know, yes, I have Sirius XM in the truck because my CD player eats all my CDs and I can't get them back for like a week. And all of a sudden it'll spit it out and I can have it back. So I don't want to put a CD in, and to have the cord all dangling is
Right.
a pain in the ass. But I realize I have a little jumper at work for Bluetooth. I'm like, why don't I have one in the truck? So Sirius XM is going away because, like you said, they play Poison, Talk Dirty to Me, all the time. They don't play Number One Bad Boy,
Right.
which I love. Number One Bad Boy. Now, give me the Poisons that you don't play. Give me the Def Leppard's off of High and Dry, not the Def Leppard's off of Hysteria and Pyromania. Give me some. And I think that's why a lot of people are starting to turn to internet radio, because they identify with a certain DJ, and that DJ doesn't play the bubblegum unless you want the bubblegum. There's DJs out there that just play, all the hits, and okay, that's cool. Throw them in from time to time, but give me personally some deeper cuts, and I'm a happy person.
Yeah.
Rich.
I'd have to agree with you there.
Right.
I think the deep cuts, some of those deep cuts are what people sit there and they say, oh my gosh, I've never heard that before. What band is this? And you tell them what it is, and it's something that they're super familiar with, but they've never gone beyond just those pop hits.
Right. Tony Garcia saying hi to me, Rich, and Wendy.
I love that guy.
Dude, that dude is fantastic.
He is amazing.
Tony is a great guy. Tony, I'd like you to meet Jim Hamby. Tony Garcia.
Hey, Tony.
Jim Hamby is a hell of a guy, too. Check out his station if you can. Hey, but hi back to Tony.
One day I'll get on Mork.
One day you got to get. I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, this dude has never been on Mork, has he? I mean, I met Rich on Mork. I'm pretty sure I met you on Mork. Was it on Mork? Yeah, it was on Mork. I met Wendy on Mork. That was last year. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, some people I meet anymore are Mork. I don't meet anybody
We all
else.
have very good taste.
Exactly. I mean, and that money is well spent. I mean, I don't give a shit if it's $4,000 a freaking year and I got to work 12-hour days a week before because I forgot to save any money up. I just work it and go, okay, I know I'm going to have a blast. So, Jim, you got to get on more. Plus, it's great to, and I don't know that we would be where we're at, Wendy and Rich, you can chime in, if we didn't have that Morgue or even M3 or Monsters on the Mountain, that connection thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where you get to connect with so many people. Rich, how's it for you?
Well, I was going to say, yeah, that's for sure. And I, when I started doing rock traveling, Monsters and Rock Cruise was the first that I did, the very first one. And I became addicted. I've been on every one since, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. But, and yeah, it's the people that you meet. Like, we've become a big family. I mean, I've never met Metal Mistress on Mork, and of course, not Jimmy because he hasn't been on there. But of course, you and Tony, who we were already saying hi to there in the chat, he said hi to us, and a ton of other people from all over the world. And so now I travel all over the world to go to different shows. Like I'm taking off again next week, and that's a long story. But I'm going to Europe.
Back to Europe.
I like Europe and the festivals, but it's a worldwide network of friends and people that we're looking for bands in a lot of cases that we don't get here, especially in Canada. We don't get a lot of bands up here at all. It's too hard for touring bands to come up here. The cities are too far away for them, and the fees and the tariffs and stuff to get in the country, the paperwork you got to fill out is just a kind of a nightmare. So a lot of times bands will tour in the U.S., but we might not get them up here because it's just not worth them paying that extra fee just to come up to Toronto. Right. And then they got to go another 5 hours to get to Montreal, and then after that, there isn't really anything until you get to the other side of the country, which I can get to Europe faster than the other side of the country. So it just doesn't work. But we're looking for those bands, like a lot of that European sound,
right?
That we we're not going to get here. And I mean, there's a lot of homegrown music in the U.S. and Canada as well. Some smaller bands that I'm really into. We really support it. CGCM Rock Radio. We try to play as much of that stuff as we can as well. And it's the same with the stuff from Europe. We like that underground stuff. I love AC/DC. I don't need to hear Back in Black anymore.
I don't need to hear Back in Black anymore.
It is running on our station, though. You might hear it once every 8,000 songs.
But there is that one time where you're in a mood and you're like, you throw on Back in Black and you play the whole album and you're good. Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. I don't need to play that. I know it by heart. I can hum it. But every now and then you want to hear it. It's like, and I think that's what, that's what's going on with us. And to have, I'll get this out of the way while I'm remembering it. Yes, I have 3 competing radio stations. Believe me when I say this, and I guarantee you everyone on here says the same thing. We ain't competing. There is one goal: music, get it to people, no matter if this week people are turning into Rich's show, and everybody on here has different time slots. If you go and check, Rich might be on at this time, Wendy's on at this time, Jim's on at this time, different. You can always work and check out different people. One day I'm in the mood for heavy, I'll go see the Metal Mitches. One day I'm in the mood for Beastie Boys, I'm going to Hamby. I'm kidding. I'm always going to bring that. But I mean, it's some days I'm in the mood for hair. Sometimes I'm in the mood for Pantera. Some days it depends on your mood. And there is a radio station or a DJ for that mood.
Certainly, yep. I would agree. There's no competition, at least on our part. Of course, I want everybody to listen to my station, as everybody wants people to listen to your station. But there's no competition. It's about getting the music out there, and it's about getting people out of their comfort zone of the AC/DC and the Guns N' Roses and into something else. Because there's so much great music out there that unsigned bands or lower level bands that people need to hear it, and it's a hard sell to get them. To get them interested. A lot of people I find are pigeonholed and they're stuck with their Guns N' Roses and AC/DC, and that's fine. It's good tunes. Mm-hmm. But there's so much more to discover. I don't know why I wouldn't do that. So to me, there's no competition. It's all about getting the music out there.
What is the greatest thing anybody's ever said to you concerning what you do? Jim.
Oh, wow. I was hoping you wouldn't pick me first.
I could sense that. I was like, I saw your eyes bulge, and I'm like,
shit, holy shit. I think the greatest thing for me, right? Because I'm still relatively new at all of this, right? I had auto DJ going and tweaking that, and learning that, and all that kind of stuff. But actually doing a show is kind of new. So I think the greatest thing for me, and my wife, Christine was talking with me about it on our way back from Philly last week, is that we're sharing music, we're bringing music to folks that they didn't know was out there. And the artists are also recognizing, right, there's no big record company that's going to sink a bunch of money out there and promote their stuff. So the podcasters, the internet radio stations, the independent folks that are getting it out there, the artists are truly amazingly grateful. So, when I'm sitting there on a Sunday and I'm watching Anthony Corder from Tora Tora do his Sunday live stream, and I happen to comment and say, hey, see you guys in Philly. And then somebody who I've watched for like 30 years and think, great band, great blues-based stuff. And he turns around and he's like, thank you for playing our stuff. Yes. That to me is like,
yes,
wow. Sharing some person's talent with another person who wants to connect, who wants to see that talent. I think that's just great.
Right. Wendy, you. Greatest thing you've ever been told. Coolest thing, greatest thing, whatever.
I am no sound again.
Uh-oh. Okay. We'll go back to you when you get sound. Just give me a thumbs up. Rich, somebody's told you something pretty cool. What was it?
I get told cool stuff all the time, but I don't know.
About your show, about what you do.
But, no, I'm going to say mostly it's the same like Jim said. A lot of people say, maybe they'll tune into my show or they'll send me a message. Hey, I was listening to your radio station the other day. Who's this band? Dillon. Just one off the top of my head. It's a U.S.-based band, but they're not a big name. I really like that song. Who are these guys? Where are they from? Oh, they got about 4 albums. They're from somewhere in the U.S. I forget where they're from. That, to me, is the coolest thing because I like that music. So now I've introduced somebody else to it, and now we can talk about it, right? And I think that's that to me is probably the coolest thing I've heard. And we get those kind of comments a lot, and that's really what keeps us. It's what keeps us going, right?
Right. Michelle or Wendy.
Yeah.
Coolest thing.
Coolest thing that I've had happen to me, or
Yes.
about it working in this.
Yep.
You know, I think for me the coolest thing is the people. Every place that I go, every show that I go to, I meet new people. Whether it's an older person than myself, and Jimmy, I got to say, I'm right there with you, buddy. um, yeah. Or a little kid. I mean, I met this little kid and I was so excited to see him, and I was like, oh, here, have my pick. And the kid turns around and gives me his. And I was like, oh my God. And the kid is this amazing little virtuoso. I mean, it's great. For me, that is the coolest thing. It is all about people and what music does for them. So, it's great to meet the artists. It's certainly such a wonderful thing to get out and do the things like M3 or Masquerade or, Mork especially. But it's all the people that are there that bring us all together. And, like you said, Mike, that's how you and I met. I mean, just walking down the hall, it's like, hey, what's going on? How are you?
How are you? Hey, what's happening? And you you don't know. Sometimes you don't really, it doesn't connect or who you're talking to. And then, like a lot of people, I know you guys get it. Somebody will stop you and they'll be like, hey, and you'll be like, I don't know your name.
Dude.
Hey,
All the time.
Right.
I will talk to them for half an hour and not know who they are. Guy standing beside me goes, you have no idea, do you? I'm like, no, I got no idea.
Somebody told me, they're like, they looked at me, they're like, you don't know my name. I'm like, no, I don't. And they're like, it's okay. And they told me their name. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And she told me, she goes, it's okay. You have 50 people coming at you at once. You're on like your radio station or doing your interview things. She goes, and a lot of people see that, so they know your name. You don't see us back here, so you don't really see our face daily.
Right,
and I'm like, oh, okay. Because I felt so bad. And so she's like, just ask, so we were talking for like a half an hour. She's like, when you do that, just ask them their name. Then I can feel bad. I said, okay, good. I feel bad about asking her name. She's like, no, I don't. Okay. Maybe she's just sending me to ask people's name. People are like, what a douchebag. You had to ask my name. Like,
no, I don't think that's true. Right. I think what she said was right. Hit the nail on the head. We meet so many people, and I'm usually really good with a face, but maybe not so much a name. So like I said, it's that hey, how are you?
My wife gets mad at me because I don't introduce her. I'm like, I don't know the person's name.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I have my friends all set up, and whereas if I don't introduce them, they're supposed to introduce themselves so I can figure out who this is.
Exactly.
I need a wingman.
Need a wingman.
Right. It's like, just introduce yourself, then they're going to give you their name, and then I got it.
Right.
Right. Okay, so we're hanging out so that when you don't know a name, I'll say, hey, I'm Mike. And then, okay, we all got this. We're going to be each other's.
We got each other's backs on this one.
We got it. That's cool. So Rich, how long have you been doing this?
Me? How long have I had my radio station?
Yeah, you said 2 years?
We started in June of 2020, so just over 2 years.
Okay. 2 years.
But before that, I was in the podcast world, had a podcast, CGCM podcast. We had that since, let's say, 2017. And before that, I was involved with Decibel Geek podcast. And I used to help them run their website. Then I used to, with my partner, Wally, that started CGCM Rock Radio with me, we used to guest host the Decibel Geek podcast once a year on Canadian Thanksgiving. The Hosers took over. So that's where I started, really. But, if you want to go way back, it started when I was a kid. And my parents were watching WKRP in Cincinnati, and I said, that Johnny Fever guy, he's cool. I want to be him.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Fever.
Now I'm doing it.
Right. Johnny Fever. WKRP in Cincinnati was such a great show.
Who didn't love that show, right?
Who didn't love that show?
Right, right.
Les Nessman, such a dork.
Les
I
Nessman.
swear,
I'll
I
be
thought
last.
turkeys could fly.
I swear, dude, that is the best show ever. I mean, you still laugh so hard you cry.
I have all the seasons on DVD, and I could every once in a while I sit down and just start again.
Right.
Start again.
I mean,
Because I can keep watching them all. But that's really what started my love for music and the interest in being in radio was that show. And I held on to that from the time I was a little kid until it came time to finish high school and go to college. And I took a program in radio broadcasting. And then I had a little co-op at a radio station in the little town north of Toronto where I used to live. And the station manager came to me. Well, I was only like typing up like PSA announcements and something. I was like 18, right? And the station manager came to me one day and said, "You want to be a radio DJ?" I said, "Yes, I do."
Yes, I do.
He says, "You're going to school for that?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Stop school. I'll just pay you and train you on the job." I'm like, "Well, that sounds good." So 2 days later, I went to work and there was the sheriff's notice of non-payment of rent and seizure, and the doors was locked on there, and there went that.
Oh, wow, dude.
That ended radio until I started podcasting.
Wow. Got it. Come work for us. I'll pay you. Yeah, you can't even pay his electric bill. God damn. Now, Wendy.
Yeah.
Favorite band or two that you just recently found that you want people to know about?
The Midnight Devils.
Yes.
Definitely one. Yeah. Right. I love those guys. I really, really enjoyed them. And I have to say, it's not a recently found band, but I would really like a bunch of people to know about Ryder, friends of mine from Queens, New York. And they rock. They rock. Yeah, Queens, New York.
I did hear that they did a great set at Masquerade.
They did. Well, I'm partial, but they did. They really brought it. I've known those boys for a long time, and I say boys because I feel so old, like I could be their mother. But they bring a lot of energy, and they've worked really hard for a long time, and so those two bands, I would say, I would love people to get to know better and to hear more. Midnight Devils, just bunch of fun guys.
Yeah.
Super, super cool guys and great music. Really great music.
Yes. And you listen to the music, it doesn't fit their character.
No.
You look at the guys, you're like, whoa.
No, not not how they look, right? You're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Listen to sometimes, like, some bands are better if you listen to the music first. I think they're one of them. You listen to the music, get it. Oh, yeah, this is great. Then look at them and go, whoa. Because if you just look at them, you're probably going to think something different. But
I agree. Their persona on stage, with the makeup and the hair and all kinds of crazy outfits. Almost reminded me a little of Steel Panther.
Right.
But when they started playing, they really, really brought it. And then I got to talk to them after the show, and what a bunch of just nice people, really great people. Jimmy, obviously you've heard him too, so.
Oh yeah, great guys, and it doesn't hurt that their drummer's named Jimmy, right?
Exactly.
Right.
I've heard them. I have the albums, and they've actually done some station IDs for us here at CGCM Rock Radio.
Nice,
I've never seen them live, so I can't compare to the live setting you guys are talking about because I've never been able to see them live. But.
Oh, definitely check them out. Yeah.
Nobody pulls off a pink boa better than the Midnight Devils.
Right. Right now, you guys are starting to get a picture. Everybody out there, they're going. Oh, wait. Everybody's gonna blow up their page now, which is great.
Which is so cool. So cool.
Yeah. Hamby.
So
two bands.
Just two bands. All right. So another one that played Masquerade, right? All or Nothing. Bunch of young guys out of Birmingham, Alabama. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They have got Brett, the singer, has got effortless, amazing vocals. The other guys, they are just up there having fun, and they sound good, and they're getting ready to put out an EP, and folks may have seen them because Terry Luce from XYZ put out a single with George Lynch on guitar, and the guys from All or Nothing are the backing band. And they are just, it's an amazing single. And those are guys to keep an eye out for, All or Nothing, AON. And then the second one, I got to give some love to some North Carolina boys, would be the LA Maybe. They're a group of guys out of the Charlotte area along the border with South Carolina with you down there. Great group of guys. You chatted with them. I think I was on, actually, I think you pulled me in and we talked with Dallas and Drizzle. Those guys are putting out an updated album. They've got a great sound. They have got good things going. They were just overseas in Europe. They loved it. Those guys know how to bring it, and they're just fun. Something you want to share, something they're like, yeah, there's AC/DC-ish, Van Halen-ish, but they're their own thing. And
they're their own thing.
Yeah, those are mine too.
Cool.
Yeah, I actually saw the LA Maybe when they played at Call of the Wild Festival in the UK end of May. So that was the first time I was familiar with the album. That was the first time I'd seen them. But you're right. It was a great show. They're great live for sure.
2 bands, Rich. Come on, buddy. You got to narrow it down.
Well, I noticed everybody's gone with North American bands, so I'm, of course, going to go to the other side of the world. You knew I was going to, right?
Well, yeah.
First, I'm going to go to Switzerland for a band called Felskin, Felskin. It's probably going to make my top 10 albums of the year, if not my top 5. Enter the Light, it's called. Fantastic melodic hard rock. It's a little bit, it's still very melodic, but it's a little heavier. I don't know how else to describe it. They got a couple of YouTube videos out, some singles from it, so you should check them out.
Felskin.
Yeah, Felskin. As far as I know, they're unsigned. They're just, I have some friends in Switzerland, and they introduced me. Otherwise, I probably
go searching Foreskin because...
Yeah, not Foreskin, Felskin.
Here we are, back to Tommy Lee.
We are
right, here we go. We started with Tommy Lee.
So you never know. He might be like, Foreskin, man, yeah.
Felskin is actually a Swiss mountain range, is the name of the Swiss mountain range. So that's where they're named after.
Mountain range.
Mountain range. That would be Pamela Anderson, right? Not
wow. We're all going back to Tommy Lee today.
This is why you don't want to have me on the show. I'm trying to behave here.
Thursday. Oh, don't behave. We know who the fuck I am. Come on.
And then for the next band, I'd go to Australia for a band called Cross-Eyed Lover. They mailed me their CD. Never heard of them before. CD showed up in the mail. Kind of like the cover of it. So let's give it a spin. Whoa. Great stuff. It's got the the singer is from somewhere. Where's he from?
Australia?
Well, he's from Australia, but he's from a band people know from Australia. Yeah, well. Anyway, good stuff. Check it out. Cross-Eyed Lover.
Right. Dude, you don't have to be so quick. You're allowed to be yourself and talk.
Who,
Come
me?
on, man. Yeah. That's what I think about
I talk
you.
quick. That's what I do.
Crazy bastard from Mork. I mean, come on. Yeah.
Aren't we all?
We are. And that's the thing. And that's how, we all connected that way. Or me and Jim, it was M3. But it's just how you connect and how you get to know people. And I wouldn't be where I'm at with doing what I do if it wasn't for M3 2015. Met some people and we all got the ball rolling with certain things. And we all kind of branched out a little bit, and other people went this way and that way and this way and that way. And we just found a kinship again with people that were like us. And then that was a little bit of a turning point where I realized, okay, I forgot how passionate I was about this. And now I found people that are just like me. They're as crazy as I am. So, I got to go find more people. And that's, you find crazy bastards and
you build your energy, right? And it's just, you keep meeting more folks and sharing more music and sharing more stories and meeting more folks. And it's so like this weekend, a good example you talk about M3 is I lived in Maryland forever, lived in the same town as a couple named Pete and Glenda. I won't use their last name, but I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, Mike.
I know you.
Right. So no Pete and Glenda. Pete and Glenda introduced me to a guy named Tony that they met on Mork. Hey, this is Tony. We met on Mork. Blah, 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 blah.
He was just here.
Right. Next morning, Tony's on. Was it that Tony?
That
Tony C?
Probably.
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
Tony G that was on.
That was Tony
so,
G.
So the next morning at the hotel, right, there's Tony. We get to talking about how much I love, a particular band, particular singer. He's like, dude, that guy's going to be playing my house in August. I'm like, what the hell you mean playing your house? I'm like, he's playing my house. He's going to be in my backyard. Come on down. So
Nice.
tomorrow morning, the wife and I are driving to Georgia, right, in the car to go see it. And that's the kind of family thing that happens here, right? All of this kind of stuff. Tony C. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that happens here is is you just meet people and they introduce you to people and they just take you in, right? And they're like, here's music, here's friendship, right? Come on. And that's what I think is the best about all this.
And I think a big part of it is, I mean, I don't know about the rest of the folks here or anyone that's out there listening, but maybe when I was back in high school, I was a little bit younger and I had the long hair and stuff. I was kind of the outcast kind of guy, right?
You still are.
Yeah, but I accept it now is the difference. But these people like going to these festivals and like I've been to M3, I've been to Monsters on the Rock cruise, of course. I'm going to Monsters on the Mountain next week, and then I'm off to Europe again. But these people accept me. They know that I'm not right, and they're okay with that.
We do know that. We're not necessarily okay with it.
We're all twisted in a similar way, right?
And we're gonna fight. Like we're gonna fight about bands. Like he's gonna say I like this band. I'm gonna say they suck, and we're gonna fight about them. But I like doing that. I like that argument, and maybe they can turn me on to something or make me listen to something that I didn't really gel with me so well the first time. I can listen to it in a different way and maybe gain a new appreciation for it. I love that camaraderie and that sense of belonging. And the radio is just another way to try and bring people together that way and get this music out there to them. And if any bands out there want to send us music, by the way, it's CGCM Rock Radio. Send it over.
I'll put links up tomorrow of everybody's station, shows, and then bands. If anybody's, there'll be people listening to this. Send your music. I mean, we would love to. We're going to play it.
Yeah. And also, I should take this opportunity to welcome the B-Rock Show to CGCM Rock Radio. He started like 2 weeks ago on our station.
That guy.
Congratulations. Yeah.
So nice to have you on the team there, Mike.
Hey, it's great, and it's like, and it's not. It's a team of a lot of people. It's not just one station. I'm with CGCM, but I'm supported by the Metal Mitches. I'm supported by Jam Session. I'm supported by people at Rock Rage. It's like it's amazing. And I always thought it was going to be cutthroat, and people were going to be like, "Oh my god," and they're deleting you because now he's there. No, they welcome it, and it's like, and that's why I do this. To show people out there that you don't have to choose. Just because I like Rich Dillon's show doesn't mean I have to stay with Rich Dillon's show every single day. I can go, I'm not cheating on him if I go on Wednesday night when Rich Dillon isn't on and I go listen to Wendy, the Metal. I'm not cheating on, good. How many times do you change the station? Okay, I had a station, Jet 104, or Jet 102 back in the day. And they played a song that I just couldn't stand, so I turned it over to K104. I'm not cheating. I'm just going to, now I want to listen to this today because yesterday I was in the mood for that, not today. I'm in the mood for this. So you can fill up your whole day just by certain radio shows.
It's the same when you listen to an album. You might be listening to your favorite album, AC/DC's Back in Black. I'm just going to keep going to that one tonight. But after a while, you get tired of hearing AC/DC's Back in Black. So you go to Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. You're not cheating on Back in Black. Right?
You're not cheating on Back in Black. Exactly.
Let me I'll present something to everybody that's here. I'm actually in talks with another radio station as well. They're called Crush Nation. They broadcast on Live 365, our iHeart Radio, and they do live shows on Mixcloud. And the owner of that is actually the one that's given me a lot of help to get a lot of stuff going here for us at CGCM Rock Radio. And I just met him by accident in a Facebook group. But he has an idea to start more of a network of radio stations to help each other out with this kind of stuff for promotion, technical stuff, all kinds of things. So if that's something that any of you folks would be interested in as well, I don't think he's really got anything going yet other than kind of the idea. And, like we said, there's no competition. So if anyone's interested in something like that as well, let me know. And
I'm
rolling a bit more, I know who to go to.
Anyway. I guess because I'm at CGCM, so I'm rolling with it anyway, right? I don't even have a.
So, yeah, that's awesome because that's one of the tough things, right? Like you mentioned, Rich, right? You do a whole bunch of research. Like when I had the idea, I was like, you know, screw SiriusXM. I'm tired of the fight with the people over there. I'm tired of hearing the same stuff. I turned around. I was like, okay, yeah. So I got like 1,200 CDs here, and I got all these albums, and I can start a radio station. How do I do it? Well, there's a whole bunch of how you do it. How do you do it right? How do you do it legally? How do you do, all that kind of stuff. And then, okay, I figured out kind of a notion, but now how do I make all this crap work? Right.
Right.
And what, maybe somebody's running something that doesn't work. Hey, you might want to avoid this, try this. It's trial and error, it's trying to figure stuff out. I was listening to one of your shows and I had a similar thing messing with Mixcloud. It's like, okay, the audio's coming through, but there's like a 3-4 second lag in the video when the video's coming through. And what the hell is this about? Right. It's like, and if people have fought that, figured that out, I think that'd be awesome for people to share that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And Wendy, I know you feel the same way. If I have a question, there has been unlimited help. Wendy's been like, if you need anything. If you need anything. Jim's figuring out something that I may want to figure out later. Jim's like, hey, man, I'm taking notes. If you ever want me to let you know how I did this, I'm there. Rich constantly brought me in, teaching me everything. It's like, it really is a community. We're all together in this. We're not against each other.
That's the kind of thing this guy wants to start even more tightly knit so that we have a network of who to go to for things. Right. And to help each other promote too. What's working, what's not working.
Right. I've tried this. This worked for me today. Do it this way. That would be perfection. We can only get better. I mean, that's the only thing that holds us back is you start to do something and you get frustrated and you walk away from it for 2 months. And I know everybody's done it. We're just like, screw it. I'm never going to get anywhere. I actually got frustrated and damn near almost quit everything. Told Rich, I don't know, man. I'll be around and Rich is like, dude, I got you. And he's like, told me something.
Took me 2 weeks to get to you, but
right. But then what he got, I kind of went in hiding because I'm like, I'm never going to do this. And then he's like, I had one guy show me one way, Rich showed me a different way. And Rich's way worked for me. Other way might not work for this person. But if you got a network of people, this one saying this might click with Jim, whereas the other one might click with Wendy.
Right.
Not everything is going to click for everybody. So I think that's a great idea. Tell that guy.
I think it sounds great.
If any of you folks out there now know how I can play vinyl live in my show and get the metadata to work, let me know because I'm fighting with
metadata on vinyl.
Thousands of vinyl albums. I want to play them.
Now you're talking some magic shit, man. Now you're talking some magic shit.
I'm close.
Metadata, it's got to be in there somewhere.
I think I need a new program. I'm working on it. I did some studying today. It'll wait till I get back from my vacation.
Backwards, and then all of a sudden the metadata shows up. And it's taught, yeah.
You have to put a camera over the center, and it's got to be synchronized so it can read the words from the laser and send it up.
Right.
Did you say something about the walrus's paw? Do it that way?
Beatles, right?
Yes, the walrus's paw. Yes. Metadata.
Sorry, I just dated myself on that one.
No, I think we're all we all knew it, and I think every one of our listeners knows it. Who's this? I gotta figure out who this is. So, anything else, Wendy?
So I've got a question for all of you guys.
Cool.
So, who would your top 3 interviews be?
Oh boy,
dead or alive, whether it's whoever in whatever genre or even out of the genre, who would they be for you?
Ones we have interviewed, you mean top ones we've done or ones we would like to do? Or either?
Dream interview.
Like your dream interviews, who would they be?
Oh. Wow. All right, I'll go. Since I know one right off the rip is John Bonham. Easy. That would be being a drummer. John Bonham would just to sit down and talk to him would be absolutely amazing. But it'll never happen. I'd talk to Jason if he'd let me. Steven Adler. I would absolutely, I reached out because they were going to be doing Masquerade, and Guns N' Roses 35th, I think it was a week before, and it fell on a Thursday. Me and Tony did a show, and I'm like, man, if I could get Adler on, promote Masquerade, talk about the album, and I'm a sober guy. He's sober now. He's got a lot of stories. I'm sure I got a lot of stories of what I've done. And just to sit down with him and just chat would be absolutely, and the drumming aside, just because two sober guys, that would be incredible. And then, man, I don't know who the third one would be, dude.
2 is cool.
I'll think about it. Hamby, okay. You're on the clock.
On the clock. All right. So somebody I never got to see, and I really regret. I'd have to interview Ronnie James Dio. I don't think anybody. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I just loved his music. Is like absolutely loved his stuff. I had very few albums when I was younger. It was cassettes, right? So I could take it in the car, take it to my buddy's house. But I had the Dio albums. Next, my absolute favorite guitarist ever, unfortunately passed, Eddie Van Halen. I would love to have been able to do Eddie Van Halen. And then somebody living, right? So it's not so damn morbid.
Wow.
I think I'd have to go for somebody that I'd say has like seen it all, been everywhere. Maybe it's kind of cliche, but I'd love to like just sit there and chill with like James Hetfield. So, right. Let's sit down, have some dinner and just talk. And that's my part is I'd like to have a conversation more than an interview. I don't want to have a scripted list of questions. I kind of just want to, let's jam.
I never use scripts. No. You got to wing it. I mean, that's the best part is when you wing
That's what I'm learning. learning.
You will script. You'll have little ideas so that when you're like, and I get that way, what do I say next? So you just glance over and bam. Sometimes you get the best interview. Who is the coolest that I've done that they take over? Like Todd Poole.
Oh, that was awesome.
Dude, he will take over a fucking show. Done. Rich. 2.
Ron Keel, same thing. Ask him one question, put Mike down.
Great dude.
He's next. He's next. I've already sent him the message, and I need to
Ron's a great guy. Yeah, he'll do it with you for sure. He's a great guy. Like I've met and talked to so many musicians from like doing this kind of thing, and even just from the traveling to see them play and stuff like that. They're appreciative sometimes if it's a long travel and they find out you've come from a long way for it. So I've gotten to talk to many artists that I think are super cool already. I don't really want to do an interview with some of them, because I'd rather just talk to them and meet them and say, hey, thanks for the show and stuff like that. And a lot of these, if we're talking the bigger artists, they've already been interviewed by everybody that could possibly interview them anyway. So I don't have anything new to ask that hasn't already been asked. Right. So that's a hard one for me. I like interviewing smaller bands because I'm trying to get their message out there a little bit more. But if I had to choose, I'd want to sit down with Howard Hessman, because I have some personal questions for him about his character of Dr. Johnny Fever.
That's so cool.
Told you I'm obsessed with that show. And Bruce Dickinson is another one. Iron Maiden was a real early heavy metal band for me. And so I think that would be pretty cool to be. I mean, I think if I sat down with him, I'd probably go, right? Right. But I want to give it a try.
Right.
And, other than that, like I said, I mean, I'm sure even Bruce Dickinson's been asked the same things a million times. Just to have a conversation with him, because I love that Iron Maiden album. So.
Oh, easy. Okay, Wendy, your turn. You brought it up. You got to say it too.
So I think that if I had to pick 3 different people, the first one, I'm a Led Zeppelin fan. in my heart all the way, Robert Plant is definitely going to be at the top of my list. And, something that all of you kind of have said is, and I'm thinking that maybe our interview styles may be very similar. I like to have the conversations too. Like when I do an interview, I feel like I'd rather feel like we're sitting on my couch having a conversation, talking in a living room, as opposed to, so tell me about this, because I think it helps them too. It helps them open up and feel like they're human, not just the marketing, like they're not just a product. Right. So definitely Robert Plant. I definitely would go back old school and say Jimi Hendrix. I would love to have just sat down with him just to see what was in his head.
And I'm pretty sure he'd be surprised.
Yeah. And then someone who I've always wanted to interview, and it's funny because, Rich, it's kind of like along your lines. There's a DJ that I used to listen to when I was a kid. There was a great radio station out of New York City, WNEW, and there was this woman on there, Carol Miller, and Carol had this really raspy voice, and she just, I listened to her and I was like, man, I love her. I want to be like her someday. And she's got to be now in her mid to maybe later 70s, and she is back on the air and keeping it at Q104.3 in New York City. And I definitely would want to interview her. I would love to sit down and interview her, talk with her, and talk about getting some tips from a seasoned pro. So those would be my top 3.
Nice.
Thanks, guys, for answering the question. That was awesome.
That's cool. Because that's one of the other things is I was at a podcast convention last summer with my wife. I was trying to get in. I'm like, I'm going to do podcasting. I'm going to learn about it. And there happened to be 2 of them back in Nashville.
Nashville Rocket Pod?
There was Nashville Rocket Pod, but right before that was Podcast Movement Convention.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one.
I know that one.
And I lost my train of thought. Isn't that awesome?
You were at your podcast convention.
I lost it.
And getting tips from the pros.
Getting tips, right? So we're riding on a bus somewhere. Thank you, man. Dementia. Somebody get the Geritol. So we're talking with this young lady, and she talked about she appeared young, but it turns out she's actually a little older than me. But I mentioned her being a DJ. She says, "Oh, I used to be a DJ. I'm not a DJ anymore. I'm an on-air personality," because they don't get to select the songs.
Right.
They get to announce whatever the hell has been selected. And that's one of the differences, right? In the stuff that we're back in an era that a person can come along and there's the B-Rock show, there's the Meister show, there's the Metal Mistress. There's there's character to it. It's not just somebody talking, oh, and here's the latest from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Oh, here's, classic rock 100 point whatever the hell. And, you get to listen to, the same song over and over and over. It's coming back. There's an opportunity again for a DJ to come on and connect with people and connect with artists and bring the people together.
And that's a lot to do with, Hair Nation. A lot of people's gripes are Keith Roth is the only person on Sirius XM Hair Nation that can choose their own music is Eddie Trunk on Mondays when he does his show. But I mean, he does
not a fan at all.
I don't mind him. I do tune in to listen to it, but most of the time I already know what he's. I don't know why I do, because it's the same fucking bullshit questions from the same bullshit
from the same four bands, and he won't play anything new. I know. I hate
oh no, I just get a kick out of the people that call in. Hey man, and it's been asked 500 times last hour, but you just had to call in and ask it for yourself too. But anyway, these DJs, I've talked to Keith Roth. He's like, hey man, it's programmed in. All I do is talk. Why don't you play any new? Well, because it's programmed in for the most people that will tune in for this. They're afraid if they play something new, they'll lose a listener or two.
They've got like a Facebook algorithm that tells them what
right.
people want.
That's
thing, right?
right. And it's like, we will not deviate because we don't want to lose people. Keith Ross like, I don't really like it, but I get paid to do it. So, why not? But I'm sure he's got a podcast out there too, because most of them have a vent for themselves too.
Right.
Yeah, he's got a band, right? He's a musician also, right? So
right,
he's got a band. Tommy London's got a band, right?
Yep.
That's one of my things is like, wait, Tommy London, great music, cool DJ, but he can't play his own fucking music on the station that he works for.
He's not allowed to. Exactly.
He's not allowed.
Right, so,
like, what is up with that?
I have a friend locally who is on a station that shall not be named. But I remember one time he needed a voice. He needed a female for a commercial. So he calls me up at 8:00 at night. He's like, can I use you? I need a girl, I need a girl's voice. I go to the station, I record the promo for him. And I'm like, well, listen, I got to get on the air. So I got to go. I said, you want to come over and hang out? He's like, yeah, I'll come over. And I said, you want to say anything? And he was like, nope, blank owns my voice. And I was just like, oh, I would never
wow.
a radio station like that.
No.
I mean, that kind of goes against the grain of everything that I believe in and everything that I started in radio for. So I love the fact that we have this venue, all of us, whatever, whether it's internet, whether it's, public radio, whether it's any kind of free format radio that we're doing, that we get to actually play something we want, or maybe that the listeners want, which is so cool. That's another thing. When's the last time you can call in and request something on Sirius?
Right.
Actually, my show I do right now, I do live to air on the station audio and also on Mixcloud with video at the same time. In the chat room, I have a few songs I want to play, usually in a couple segments I do, but most of it comes from the listeners. So tune into my show. Tell me what you want to hear.
Yep.
It might take me 10 minutes to go find it and get it, but I'll play it.
But I'll get it.
That's exactly what I want to do, is build music that way. I don't want to have something that's programmed where I just announce it. That's not Dr. Johnny Fever. Dr. Johnny Fever played whatever the hell he wanted to play. It was always the thorn in Andy's side, right?
Right.
That's what it is for me.
Right. And that's our expression. That's how we express ourselves. I express myself through music. I mean, there's always a song for everything. My wife jokes around, that I always have a lyric. I always, boom. It should be like, that is not a lyric. I'm like, that is, and I'll pull up the song. But it's like, I couldn't imagine, okay, my face, for one, is not very good. So I will not get paid for that. But for somebody to tell me, sit here and hit go, but just talk about the songs, then I can't do that, because then I can't express. I gotta believe in something.
There's no heart in it.
Exactly. I want, if I'm listening to Wendy or Rich or Jim, I want to be able to feel them, and that's how I get when I'm listening to anybody's show. I'm feeling them. And Sirius XM, I'm not feeling them. I'm feeling a radio station that's a bubblegum radio station, a cookie cutter radio station. This is what you're going to get. Don't bitch about it. Just give us your money.
And 8 hours later, it's going to be the exact same again.
Exact same, rolled over. And it's like, but now they have a deep cut station that is not deep cuts. It's really just another hit. I mean, it's not deep cuts. Some of them were like, one day I was like, holy shit, what they play. But I think that happened one time in the last 6 months. You go to, and then I know Wendy does it. Jim just started doing it last night, and Rich does it. You guys go live and you take requests. One of these days I'm going to be doing that. But that's another way you connect with your listeners. And I've watched your chat room, and your chat room. Boom, it blows up, because people is like, yeah, I'm feeling this tune right now. And they know they are just like us. They want to share that and get that reaction.
Exactly. And now they've got everybody in the chat saying to them, hey, that was a great song. Thanks for requesting that. So
and
all of a sudden, I'm out of the equation. They're just talking to themselves now.
Right.
Right.
What am I here for?
Connecting. Now I'm connecting, through that, you're connecting people that might not know each other. Now in the next morgue, they're going to meet each other and go, hey, man, this is how we met. Bam. It's a beautiful thing.
Indeed it is.
Ashton Blake is here.
Sweet.
Ashton. Yes, he's got Native Sons, and they are going to be another one. They are going to be at Monsters on the Mountain. They're doing a special acoustic. I cannot wait for this, but they're doing a special acoustic. Hi, Ashton. What's happening? See you next week.
Come on, Ashton.
I actually owe Ashton a call. I'm sorry about that. I'm very slow at stuff.
What's that?
I owe Ashton a call. We were supposed to have an interview a while back, and then I had my technical problems and I got lost.
Dude,
so I haven't forgotten you, brother.
Dude, he is great. Talk about people that you really don't have to lead. Ashton will run with it. He's a great interview. Dude, you'll have fun. You guys.
My problem was with my technical issues. I didn't want to have somebody on the stream, and then it dropped 10 minutes into it. That kind of stuff. So
I know you were working on that. Now you got it all.
Still working on it.
Now. You got it figured out. I mean, you're not dropping like usual.
I'm doing okay today, yeah, but I'm also not doing heavy graphics and playing music and stuff today too. So.
Well, then chill on the graphics. Go little. Rich is that go big or go home.
Go black
guy.
and white.
I like
go black and white.
Nobody needs to see the mess behind this.
Right.
I can be honest. I can't multitask that much.
Right. I mean, he's wow. Well, I'm going to get your links up tomorrow. And for each show, for everybody that's been here, get your links up, times and this and that. Rich, I'll have to get with you about yours because, but just send me you guys send me your show times. I'll get them on one long post so that everybody can find. That's what I like to do at the end of the next day, just so everybody can find what we were talking about. So.
I'm on tomorrow. I'm going to be starting about 3:00 tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, so I'll find
earlier than usual, and I'll probably broadcast for about 6 hours. So.
Oh, that's right. You do every Friday. Tomorrow's Friday already. God damn.
I normally officially 6 to 8, but
dude, dude,
the Europeans want me to start earlier so they can watch it before midnight.
And so you're on live that whole time, Rich?
Yeah. I tend to start my show and stop when I get tired.
Oof. I'm not worthy.
Two hours.
Depends on how I'm feeling.
I can barely get an hour a week together and make it work.
I always do 2 hours, but it's gone as long as 6. It just depends. It depends on how the chat's going. If they're requesting stuff and they're kind of programming themselves, and I'm just rocking along.
Right. And let me tell you, it used to be to the point where I dreaded trying to come up with, okay, what am I going to play? And then you go, okay. Then your mind goes over here and over there, and you're like, no. And you crinkle that one up and go, no. And now I just go, okay, one mood. It'll be like a day at work. One more. A song will come on over here, or a song will pop in my head. I jot it. I text it to myself, or I write it down. Then I have like 25, 30, 35 songs. Okay, which ones do I want to play? And they're there. So, I just take one mood, one day. Boom. And it just hits you. It just, other than trying to figure out, okay, does Cinderella work with Pantera, or where should I put it? Now, throw it in. Let's roll.
I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of gal myself.
Exactly.
I tend to get abused for my matchups like that because I'll go from something and crash right into the next thing and not.
I'm not right.
I don't care. They're good tunes and it works, man.
Dude.
Right. That's what I'm finding. And like my best piece of advice was from Mike Floros. He's got two bands he's working in.
Love him.
Great guy.
Great dude. He's like he listens. He's like, I listen to the show. He's like, let your hair down. He's like, let your hair down and just go. And that's been the best thing. And then I've been able to, get tips from Mike and tips from Jim Adolph from 60 Minute Metal.
Yep.
And everybody I talk to, you guys here, right? Lots of tips. And it's just let yourself go. And if you put Cinderella next to Pantera, who gives a shit, right? If you like it and you got people going and you're rocking and you're feeling the energy, let it rip.
Piece of advice for anybody starting out or thinking about it, one piece of advice, Jim.
Oh, don't wait for perfect. Don't wait for perfect. It will
Don't
never
wait
be
for
perfect.
I love
Nobody
it.
wants to be first.
Right. I knew Jim didn't want to be first again, so I picked him again.
Yeah, that's my thing. Don't wait for perfect.
Don't be perfect.
You know?
Don't wait for exactly. I love that one. That is perfect. Wendy.
Stay true to what you want to put out there. Don't kowtow to anybody else's vision of what you need to be.
Right. And don't compare yourself to this guy. Don't say, okay, maybe I'm not doing this. Be yourself always. That's what people will cling to.
Authentic is wonderful, and fake is seen from a mile away.
Exactly. Rich, piece of advice.
Well, I would agree with all of those too, as probably the main ones. But another one that I'll throw in there that I get asked a lot: don't do this for money. Don't expect you're going to make any money. You're not. It is going to cost you money. It's going to cost you a lot of money.
Lot of money.
There you go.
Right. So
I get that all the time.
Don't count on making any money. Be yourself.
Don't wait for perfect.
Don't wait for perfect. And believe, you know what? That one has got to be the one, because there was so many times I didn't want to start myself, and I'm going, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And then I would go and compare to others. I'm like, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Well, you have to start somewhere.
Everybody does.
Everybody's got. So if you're out there thinking, man, if the only two things you need for this, heart and passion. That's it. And a love for music.
And a little bit of equipment.
You're going to need equipment. And, it's not that expensive. It really isn't. It depends on how big you want to get into it. You could spend thousands, or you could just get a laptop.
Yeah, I definitely agree with don't wait for perfect. When we did our first podcast, me and Wally, it was back for Decibel Geek actually at that time, we spent about 8 hours recording an hour and a half podcast, and then we scrapped it and did it again because it was like, oh, that's not good enough. I sound dumb. And we just kept.
Right.
And now I just turn the microphone on and go, hey, anybody here? All right, nobody's here. I'll play AC/DC's Back in Black. Okay. Right. And then we just make it up as we go along. And
right.
Just I 100% agree with that. Don't strive for perfect and don't compare to anybody else. Just do what you're doing, and don't worry if you get one listener. Don't worry about it, because
you've got
next week it'll be 2, and next week it'll be 4, and next
you're
week
reaching
be 8,
one person. Right? One person you are connecting with. That's what we like. That's all you can ever hope for, is that you connect with one person. I turned one person on to Native Sons. I'm good. One person reached out and said, hey, I dig that Native Sons tune, or I dig that tune that you play. That's great. I did my job. And that's.
I was going to say, kind of a corny story, but the very first song that I ever played on the radio, and Rich, I hope you'll appreciate this, it was Triumph, a good Canadian band.
Nice.
And it was Magic Power, and I played it specifically because of the lyric in it that said, she's had a rough day and she hopes the DJ is going to play her favorite song.
Right.
And like the music makes it better and brings her out of it. And, I know for me, like you say, if we have one listener, we're golden. But it's when you have that one listener that says, you know what, and this absolutely happened to me last night. A listener that I know has had some really rough times. She came on in the chat and she's like, hey, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I'm not doing good tonight. And, we all showed her love and we played some songs for her. And she totally, like at the end of the night, she's like, I love you. Thank you so much. And you know what? It's it's just, that's why we do what we do. At least that's why I do what I do.
Right.
And even if it's just one person that turns that radio on, and the song that I play that night, whether it's something I pick or something that they pick, if it turns their world better, if it makes their mood brighter, I think I'm a success.
You did your job.
Did my job, and I did it. And I hope that I think that all of us that are, like you said, we're not doing this for money, for sure. I think we all have our heart in the right place, and that's what we want to bring to everyone.
And
so thank you guys. Thank all of you guys for doing that very same thing, because you guys rock.
Hey, you rock too.
I can't. I'm holding my phone, so I can't do the heart. But if it was a full heart, it would be that.
Okay, here. You do your part. Here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Jim, do it a little bit.
Love you guys.
Right? You got to do everything. You got to do everything backwards.
Right, I know. I'm like, where the fuck am I here?
I know.
Man?
I do that all the time. I'm pointing over here, but I'm supposed to be pointing over there.
Right. Well, that's because you're Canadian. Whatever.
Rude.
Rude. I love it. See, everybody, we get along. Anybody that does this, one goal: reach people, turn people's day around. Just because we love it. Like, if you want to make money at it, good fucking luck. That's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Maybe. Get merch. You might sell a t-shirt. Maybe.
It's good to know that there's other folks out there that are doing the same as we are at CGCM, and that you guys are having the same trials and tribulations and the same passions and stuff like that. Because I got a team, and Mike knows we probably got about 20 people on our staff. Either they write for our website or they're DJs. We do have one guy now that has professional radio experience, but when we started, nobody had ever been on a microphone before.
Right.
So, yeah, but it was fun. It's fun.
The closest that I had been. Yeah, it's fun. The closest I'd ever been to a microphone was 30 years ago when the DJ at Hammerjacks had to take the night off. He's like, "Hey, you want to run the DJ booth?" I'm like, "What do I got to do?" He's like, "Put a CD in, skip to the song you want to hit, and hit play." I'm like, "Shit, I'm in. What do I get paid in?" They're like, "Beer." I'm like, "Shit, this is awesome.
I wish I got paid beer to do this."
Right.
I'd rather be paid milk.
We give you a coffee. Yeah.
Sweet tea for me. Sweet tea for me.
I'm in with that too. Yeah. Right. Well, it has been a very, very good time. We will do this again. This was part one.
Thank you.
I'm
going to do a part two with a couple others. And then, you know what? We're going to come back and revisit this again sometime. And just because we're all going to grow and grow and grow and grow. We're all going to, get into more avenues and figure new things out. We've come this far and this long, you just we're never satisfied. We always want to get better and better and better. So then we'll just have more tips. And
there's more music, right?
And there's more music. Next time we'll just come on talk about music.
Right. Rock is not dead. If you think rock is dead, you're under a rock.
Right.
That's right.
You're not listening to the right radio stations, bitches. If you think rock is dead, if you think rock is dead, it's because you're listening to serious fucking XM radio. I'm just saying. Hate mail to the rock altar of B-Rock. So thank you everybody for being here. We will do this again. If you ever want to come on and just chat and bullshit, let me know. We'll set the date. Just chat bullshit music. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Sweet.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Wendy, the Metal Mistress, Jam Session Radio with Jim Hamby, and Meister Music. That's Rich Dillon up there. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on, Mike. Appreciate it, man.
See you at the shows. All right, like I said, I will get a post up tomorrow with all their shows, whether it be CGCM, Cranium, Jam Session, whatever. There's the times when their show is on. I mean, everybody, Cranium Radio is 24/7, Jam Session Radio is 24/7, and CGCM Radio is 24/7. But certain shows at certain times, I will give you their shows. and then visit all their pages, figure out, there's other shows out there. I mean, some people do, like Rich was saying, some people do mixed things. I mean, there's a guy out there, he does Mix Fix. And this dude's show is like off the wall. I mean, one day dude, I can't even explain it. You gotta check this. That dude's show is something else, but it's Mix Fix. When you go to these certain sites, you find these shows, you get hooked, and then you find more, and then you dive more in. So if you limit yourself to one radio station or one show or one, it's like limiting yourself to one band. I mean, there's not just one. Different moods. You got CDs and tapes all over your rock room. One day you're in the mood for Ozzy, next day you're in the mood for Pantera. I mean, you get out there, check it all out, see what you find. I will post links up for these ones that we're on tonight: Metal Mistress, Meister Music, and Jam Session Radio tomorrow. And let's check them out. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I will not be doing a show next week. Thursday, I will be on the road because I will be going to Monsters on the Mountain. So see me there. I will have stickers. I will have other things. Just meet me there. We want to do maybe a update the beginning of the show, the Rock and Roll B-Rock thing. Maybe we'll update that, get a couple videos for that, do a new thing. But if you're at Monsters on the Mountain, say hi, come up, let's hang out. Yeah, no show next week. Tribute show for Monsters on the Mountain will be on the B-Rock Show Tuesday at 6 p.m., Thursday at 12 p.m., and Saturday at 4 a.m. Traveling Thursday, 12 o'clock p.m., tribute show to Monsters on the Mountain. 6 p.m., thinking about going, tribute show to Monsters on the Mountain. So I'll post everything up. I will do a lot of posting tomorrow. But anyway, thank you, everybody, for being here. It was a blast. Thank you to Wendy. Thank you to Rich. Thank you to Jim. Angelina didn't make it. I don't know what happened. I will get a hold of her and maybe have her on the next one, part 2. Part 2 right now has Jim Adolph, 60 Minute Metal on Philly Rock Radio, Will Maz from Rock Metal Radio, and Rachel Logan from Rachel's Rock Refuge. So them are 3 confirmed. I'm wanting one more. I reached. Should be able to get them. And that'll be next month. I think it's the 8th. September 8th, a gathering of DJs part 2. Other things are happening. Just check the page. And I will see most of you at Monsters on the Mountain. If you don't have your tickets, get them. Let's go. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. And I will see you on the pages. I will see you on the radio. I will see you at the shows. Let's hang out. Take care.